Hi, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, Galit Speaks. I decided to run this in the group as well, the Righteous Revenue Fishbowl. If you are there and listening in the group, tell me if that's not. I figured I'd do that just to kind of basically present to you this new side of me. And make you a part of the things that matter to me. This podcast is really about sharing my views, values, philanthropy, what is going on with me, what is going on in my world, and how I feel about it. You all know that I'm very heavy into charity work and making sure that the community thrives. And this is just another way that I want to help my community to thrive, whether that be the LGBT community, the diving community, the ocean lovers community, the basic human rights community, the everything, the vegan community, all of the things that I care about, I'm talking about on this podcast. And one of the things that's been coming up for me this week happened last week, and I'm still reeling from it. With one of the nonprofits that I'm on, I have been planning a large event, and we had hoped to have 250 people per day there and have a 2-day event. It is for Pride, although it is going to be in July. And we were very open with all of, the venue and everyone that was going to get involved with it, that this was a safe space for the LGBTQIA plus community, and that this is what we were trying to do and trying to build. And last week, the venue dropped out. And I'm sure it is not easy to find a venue that can fit 100 people, but I'm talking like a 250 person event in under a month when everything is booked up. It is the summer in New York. It was going to be happening in New York. We are now scrambling, trying to figure out. We have some possibilities, but it will probably have to be a smaller event, like a 1-day event, and less people. We do have a really strong possibility, and I'm so grateful that a lot of people, upon hearing the story, were open to trying to work with our nonprofit and trying to help us find something. But I think what really threw me for a loop and why I felt like I needed to speak about it today was the aggression that we got from the venue, as if like this was new to them. And as if we were somehow awful human beings because we were throwing, a pride event, or, it wasn't even necessarily only for people of the LGBTQIA community. It was also for allies, and just having a safe space where we can all hang out together and not feel judged. And I feel like the events in the last year, and especially in the last month and this last week, have just made me feel like there's so much aggression in the air for people who are not like us. for people who don't have the same specific values that you have. And what really struck me were some of the things that were said, like, I'm not fucking flying a rainbow faggot flag in my venue. Like, what? What did we go back in time? What is happening? There was another mention of like, maybe, and this literally happened to my friend, where her father said, when she shared with him a story about how she was abused and beaten by someone for being part of the LGBTQ community, her father said, yeah, you deserved it. What? Are we okay with our children getting beaten on the street? Like, where have we gone with this? I get that you have values, and I get that you want to live your life a certain way, and that's totally fine. Live your life a certain way, but allow other people who are not harming anyone to live their lives however they want to live their lives. Um, you know, he had mentioned something about like, maybe he should get a gun and eliminate people that thought differently. No, that is not the way that we do things in America. I don't know what version of America I am living in anymore. That it's okay that if you don't think the same as someone else, that you can hurt them. That is not okay. When did this aggression, I feel like it's been building, but it's coming to a head recently, and it's really being felt inside families. And I want us to step back and realize that we are all people, and that you are dealing with a person. And maybe because a lot of this stuff is done online or over the phone, that people feel entitled to say things like this. But on the one hand, I'm like, okay, people are showing their true colors. Now I really know who they are. But I'm scared. I'm fucking scared. I live in Arizona right now, which is an open carry state. And because of this feeling of aggression, there have been rallies and protests that I wanted to go to, and I have not gone because I was fearful for my life, and I was fearful for the lives of my friends. And that is, I don't have a freedom of speech as much as I did. I can't say the things that I want to say without fear of somebody. And this is not just Arizona based. It just happens to be that Arizona is an open carry state. And so I know that there are guns, and I know that people are just feeling so super strongly about things and have become extremist in almost a way, and are using that as allowing them to hurt other people. So it is not just in Arizona. I think that we are nationwide really seeing a move away from peaceful protests. I can't have a viewpoint and go out and know that I can share that viewpoint freely and not be in danger for my life. And that really scares me. That's super disappointing. Um, if you are listening now, or you're on YouTube or watching this on the replay, please let me know how you feel about this, what you think. I'm just in shock. I'm in shock that it is 2022 and it feels like we're going backwards. I'm in shock that it feels like other people can decide what I believe, or what I think, or what I say, or how I act. a lot of the things that are being challenged right now should be basic human rights, right? Equality. No one is asking for anything more than equal. No one is asking for anything more than what we have agreed upon as a society was okay. That we moved forward, and with the Supreme Court ruling, it set us back 50 years. To know that something that I took as a right as a woman for my entire life was taken away. No matter what your viewpoint on the actual decision and how you fall on the spectrum of like pro-choice, pro-life, this was still a right that we as a nation knew that we had, that has been taken away. And if they can take that away, what else? What's next? Because we already heard in that decision that some of the next items that they're looking towards is sodomy laws, is LGBT marriage laws. Like these are rights that we fought so long for and so hard for. Like I remember in elementary school, I did a book report on Susan B. Anthony and suffragettes and women's rights, and like this was a given for me that someone else before me fought so that I could have these rights. What's next? What is going to be taken away from me next? And now our generation again has to be the one to fight again, when we already, the women before that came before us fought once. Now we have to do it again because someone, sitting in a court somewhere completely separated from us has decided that we don't have the same rights as anyone else. And that hurts. And I am very scared for what is next to come. And I am very scared about the aggression in the air. Like maybe I could deal with some of the things if I didn't feel this like, for lack of a better word, aggression, if I didn't feel this tension in the air all of the time. It's really scary for me. I don't want to live in a society where I can be beaten for being LGBTQ. I don't want to live in a society that I can go to jail for 99 years for having an abortion. I don't want to live in a society that will hurt me because I'm different. That's what made us different from the other societies around the world that don't have human rights, right? That's what made us different, and we're getting rid of it. And we are so divided as a nation, and we are so hateful to each other as a nation. No, there is no point in anyone's life that they should be told that it was okay that they got beaten up. I don't care what else you have to say. It's never okay to be like, you should have been shot. No, that is not something that we should be allowing. That is not something that should ever come up. You should not be in fear of getting shot, beaten, kicked out of your house, kicked out of a venue. Maybe we really need to take a look at how we act towards other people. Did we forget the fundamental golden rule from kindergarten. Treat others how you would like to be treated, right? Where did that go? If somebody knows, if somebody has a different viewpoint, I want to hear from you. I would like to know how you feel about this. I would like to know if you have any stories of aggression, any stories that made you feel fearful, or if you're on the other side and you have something to say, I welcome that as well, because I want to hear every side. I want to hear your viewpoint, and I don't want to hurt you because of your viewpoint. I will never hurt you because of your viewpoint. And I think that's really where the difference lies, is we all have different opinions. We all have different beliefs. We all have different faiths. We just cannot hurt someone else because of their faith, because of their beliefs, because of their values. If they are not hurting you, if they are not hurting anyone you know, then there is no reason to hurt them anyway. But there's absolutely no reason to threaten violence. There's absolutely no reason to say that violence against someone was justified. I think it really is so big for me also because I'm a child of domestic abuse. And there was always a reason why I was hit, right? That, whether it was I didn't do something quickly enough, I didn't get a high enough grade on something, I said something I shouldn't have, I spoke when I wasn't spoken to first. There is always a reason, but it's not a good reason. There is never a good reason to be violent towards another human being, especially not a family member, a friend, a loved one, a community member, somebody that we all want to grow together. We all want to survive together. We all want to thrive together. We want to get, if we want to make this nation something beautiful, then we can't do it by hurting people. We just cannot. I'm going to go to the comments for a little and see, what everyone thinks. Hi, Nicole. I'm glad that you're tuning in live. We have another Facebook user that said exactly. Okay, Nicole Selleck says, I was empathetic about why people are acting hateful, but understanding why they're doing something doesn't justify them or make it okay to take zero accountability. 100%. Like, yes, you can have your views, but it doesn't mean that it's okay for you to be a horrible person. And I think that this is something that I've talked about, in my personal life many times, of why I chose to not be religious. I'm Jewish and I chose to not be religious. And it is because growing up, religion was used as a method to, if you're religious, that means you're a good person. So everything you do is good, even if it's a horrible action. And I don't believe that, right? I believe religion is a path that you can take to be a good person, 100%. But you have to be a good person. You cannot use religion as like, it's okay, I must be a good person because I'm religious. So everything that I'm doing that is actually horrible is okay because I'm religious. So I'm a good person. So I must be a good person. So the action that I did must be good actions because I'm a religious person. So I'm a good person. So everything that I do must be good. No, you have to be a good person first. And it's a part of every religion, right? A part of every religion is behaving like a good person. And we have forgotten that fundamental rule, right? Be a good person. Everything else is secondary. Who you believe in, that's amazing for you. Which God you believe in, if you believe in multiple gods or one God, or which way you believe in worshiping the God, that is your right. And you can do whatever you want to do as long as you are good, as long as you are a good person and you are not hurting anyone. So let's stop hurting each other. Let's stop, ignoring the aggression in the air, ignoring the fact that this is going on, and making excuses for people being horrible people. I don't care what you say, saying that you are that someone should have been beaten, saying that you are going to beat someone up, saying that people deserve to be shot, saying that you are going to shoot people, that is never okay. I don't care what your views are. I welcome your views. I welcome anything that you want to share with me. I will listen to. But if you tell me that it's okay to hurt a person, I do not think you are a good person. Doesn't matter what religion you are, what viewpoints you have. It almost negates to me anything good that you have done or are doing. Right? Like, you can't say, I beat people up on Monday and then on Friday I give to charity and that makes me a good person. No, it does not. You beat people up, that does not make you are not a good person. I don't care how much charity you give. You know, like a horrible one, like you fondle children on a Monday, but you go to church every Sunday and you confess, you're not a good person. I'm sorry. You need to take accountability for what you are doing in this life. Sometimes you don't get a chance to take it back. And there is no taking it back. Think about, I heard recently that there was, this was actually a while ago, but I heard that there was this teacher that would teach her kids a lesson about saying bad, about, being mean to one another. And the way that this teacher did it was she gave them all a tube of toothpaste. And she said, get all the toothpaste out. Take it all out of the tube. And then when they had all done that, and there was toothpaste, and if anyone knows this story and knows the origin of it, please share, because I'd love to look it up. And this is just something that came off the top of my head. So if I'm butchering the story, please forgive me. But okay, so now they have all the toothpaste out and they have the container, and she says, put the toothpaste back in the container. And each one of them looks at her like, what? I can't. Guess what? That's what happens with your words. You can apologize to someone over and over and over. It does not unring that bell. It does not take away what you said. It does not take away the pain and the hurt. Even if they forgive you, it is out there. Words are powerful. And when you tell somebody that they deserve to be beaten or shot, and God knows I heard it so much growing up. Like growing up with my father, that I didn't deserve, that I deserved to be beaten, that I didn't deserve to have anything, that I was worthless. I heard it over and over. You cannot unring that bell. You cannot unhear those words. It affects you. And we should not be saying that to each other. We cannot continue to say that to each other. I am feeling it more and more and more lately. And that's something that we need to address. 100%, we need to address it. in, in our lifetime, in the next year, in the next 2 years. This is something that we need to start talking about, because it's totally okay. Again, it is totally okay to believe what you want to believe. It is totally okay for you to have an opinion. It is not okay to hurt people. Nicole is saying, especially children. And then your victims have it playing over and over in their heads. Yes, you have no idea the kind of damage that words do. I'm not even talking about right now actually beating someone up. Yes, that's even worse, right? But just saying it is painful. Just saying it creates a vicious cycle in someone's head about what is going to happen. Those words enter, Nicole says, those words enter their brain and they hear your abusive words louder than their own loving voice. 100%. I could not have said it better. Yes, it was, I'm going to go back to my childhood. Like, yeah, those words were way louder than anything that I could say to myself. Way louder than anything that I could say to myself. And it mattered more. It shouldn't have, but it does, especially coming from your family or your loved ones. Like, let's be good to people. Let's follow the golden rule. Let's make sure that you are not abusive, you are not hurtful, you are not tearing people down. If they are not hurting you, you are not hurting them. Like, it, and in none of these circumstances, like, I'll go back to the event. Us having a pride flag or running a pride event was not going to harm anyone. Not going to. We were not going to beat anyone up. We were not going to hurt anyone. We were not going to start a riot, start a protest. We were not going to damage property. We were just going to come together as a community and have a good time and do some outdoor activities. That's it. That's all we wanted. But it became about one person's hate, and it spilled over into many people and hurt many people. And I have a friend that, because of this, can't live in her own home. Like, that's how far it went. My friend is effectively going to be homeless because of someone else's decision to use hurtful words, because of someone else's decision to allow their community, their aggressive community, their community that believed that people that are different should be beaten or shot, because they heard that community louder than the voice inside their heart saying, this is my child, and I want to protect them, and I want to make sure they're safe. Because the hate was stronger than the love, my friend will be homeless. Because the hate was stronger than the love, my friend now has a recording playing in her mind that she is not loved, that she is hated, that her friends are not loved, that her friends are hated, that this world is aggressive towards them, that they are nothing, that they are not worth being allowed to live peacefully. And that's probably the saddest part of all of this. I mean, there will be more if we continue to speak with this hate, if we continue to let this aggression bottle up and flow over. we are going to be hurting the ones that we love. We are going to be hurting the people that are around us. We are going to be ultimately hurting our communities and our friends and our loved ones. And we need to cut it out now. If you have a solution, I would like to hear it. I feel like I'm at this weird point where the only thing that I can do is speak out. And that's why I created Galit Speaks, is because I needed to speak out. I needed to identify these points of where we're fucking up, where we're going wrong as a human race. And I want more of you to do that. And if you have another solution of how we can fix this, how we can grow together, I'd love to hear it. So yeah, apparently just being there Nicole says, apparently just being there would be a controversial issue, and people don't want controversy. And I think, yes, you don't want controversy, but when you don't speak up, bad things happen. If you don't speak, evil takes over. It is in today, there was a lot of things after I'll give, because I'm Jewish, I had a very broad understanding of the Holocaust, and that was very big in my childhood, of like learning about the Holocaust and making sure that you always speak up, so that, because history repeats itself. We need to speak up, because you stay silent today because it doesn't affect you. But guess what? They're going to come for you next. Because we're all different, and we all have different beliefs, and we all have different viewpoints. If you don't speak up when your neighbor is being put down, there's nothing to stop them coming for you. There's nothing to stop history from repeating. Please remember that. Go out, have these conversations, however controversial, and let me know how they go. On that note, I'm going to end for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Please be good to each other. Please, let's be better as humans. Let's be more tolerant as humans. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Let's not wish them horrible things because they have an opinion. And that goes for both sides of every single issue. You can't wish beatings on someone. You can't wish death on someone. You can't wish anything bad on someone. You just have to understand that people have different opinions. They are entitled to their opinions, but you can't hurt anyone, and you can't take away somebody's rights because you don't agree with them having a right. On that note, have a great Wednesday. Take this, spread this message however you can. If you're watching this in my Facebook group, please like Galit Speaks. I have a podcast. I go live every single Wednesday and talk about things that matter to me. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you are listening to this on Anchor and you can't see the total pride outfit that I have going on, please subscribe to my YouTube or find me on Facebook, and be part of this conversation. Happy days of Pride. Have an amazing Wednesday and a very good night. Bye, everyone.